Hey guys, today you're gonna learn the 3 ways to make natural deodorant at home, from the most simple version to the most advanced and safe version. Now, I love making natural deodorant. There are so many claims out there about commercial deodorant containing toxic substances, so I thought, is it that complicated to make it at home? It turns out it's not. It's not at all. You can literally make a natural deodorant with only 3 ingredients, as we will see the first recipe, and you can actually make a really nice natural deodorant that is also safe for sensitive skin and that has a really nice glide on your skin, which we will see with the third recipe. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start. If you're new to soap making or other skincare products like deodorants, lip balms, shampoo bars, and so on, I have an ebook that contains all of them, and the aim of the book is not only for you to learn how to copy recipes, but it also teaches you to think like a formulator. It teaches you to understand the properties of the different oils and how to tweak them for your own needs. So if you want this, I've been receiving a lot of great feedback from people. You can check the link in my bio, and I would love to hear what you have to say about this. Let's get started, guys. So we're gonna talk first about the first recipe. I'm not gonna make it here because it's a very simple recipe and I don't need to make it. So the first recipe, you've probably seen it. It's 3 ingredients: coconut oil, baking soda, and an essential oil of your choice. Why does that work? What are the advantages of this recipe and the disadvantages? First of all, the advantages are that it's very simple to make. You probably have already baking soda at your home. I don't know if you have coconut oil. A lot of people have it, so you don't need essential oils. Essential oils are optional, so you could even make it with just coconut oil and baking soda. Now let's look at the chemistry behind this. Coconut oil contains lauric acid, so this is a natural antimicrobial, so it helps a bit with reducing the microbial growth that you have in your armpits. And then baking soda, what it does is that it's very basic. It has a pH of 9. So when you apply baking soda into your armpits, you raise the pH into a level where microbes cannot grow anymore because it's very, very high. The microbes that we have in our armpits, basically what they do is that they grow in more acidic environments. So our armpits are acidic. Most of our body is acidic actually. The armpits have a pH of around 5.5. So when we sweat, water is creating, but it's not the water that smells bad. The moisture that is created here, it doesn't smell bad, but then microbes start growing in this wet and acidic environment, and those microbes are the ones that create the bad odor. So what we do by adding baking soda is that we are raising the pH to not allow those microbes that only grow in acidic environments to actually grow. That's the whole chemistry behind the baking soda and your armpits. So these are the advantages of this recipe, is that it actually works, and number 2, it's very, very, very simple. But here are the disadvantages. The disadvantages, first of all, is that baking soda can be very irritating for certain people, especially people who have sensitive skin. It can cause redness because it's very harsh. It has a very high pH, and you don't need that high of a pH to have an effect. What you can do to counteract that, you can just reduce the amount of baking soda you add, but the best, of course, is to remove it completely, which we're gonna see at the third recipe. And then the other problem with this recipe is that it's good at raising the pH, okay, but it's not good at actually getting the moisture that you're producing here. So the moisture is still gonna be there, and you're adding this coconut oil with a lot of moisture. There are some high chances, especially if you tend to sweat a lot, that you will stain your clothes and you will have some coconut oil stains on your clothes. I've heard people saying that they don't have any problem with it, and I've heard other people saying that they don't like using it at all. So again, this is the first most simplified version and the one that is not optimal. So let's go ahead to version number 2. So version number 2 is the one where we will start adding structure to our deodorant, and the one where we will also start absorbing the moisture so that it doesn't stain your clothes and you don't sweat a lot. So what we are going to use, the key ingredients here are beeswax. So beeswax really adds a lot of firmness and structure to your deodorant. Then we're going to use jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is key for this recipe because it's what adds glide, so the deodorant doesn't feel that rough. Then we have coconut oil and shea butter that will also add both some antimicrobial activities from coconut oil and also some moisturizing and structure. And then the key ingredient here is actually cornstarch. And cornstarch, what it does is that it absorbs all the moisture. Instead of cornstarch, you can also use arrowroot powder. It's basically the same thing. So, and then we're adding again baking powder to increase the pH. So the key ingredients here is that we have beeswax that will add the structure to your deodorant. We will add jojoba oil that will add glideness. We will add cornstarch that will absorb all the moisture, and baking soda that will basically raise the pH so that microbes cannot grow. And yes, this recipe, it works perfectly fine. It's way better than the first one, but unfortunately it still causes irritation to some people. You rub it on your hands and you pour it into your armpits. I've been using this for the past 2 months and honestly it's working perfectly fine. I don't have any problems with baking soda. But the third recipe, we're actually gonna make it hands-on and we're gonna see how it turns out. The third recipe is for people who have problems with baking soda and who perhaps they have sensitive skin. So the third recipe is the optimized recipe that is suitable for everyone. So let's go ahead and grab this beautiful stainless steel bowl, and what we are gonna do now is that we are gonna measure 18 grams of beeswax. Now beeswax will add this structure to your deodorant. And now we want to go ahead and add 18 grams of coconut oil. And then we're adding 15 grams of shea butter. Now let's go ahead and melt this over a double boiler. While we wait, let's create an amazing essential oil blend. So we don't want to add a lot of essential oil because that goes into our armpits, right? So we just want to add a bit. I'm adding 0.5%, and I like to use this basically formula where I'm adding 0.1 grams of cedarwood, because cedarwood is acting like a base, so it will make your whole mixture more long lasting. And then I like to add some bitter orange essential oil and 0.2 grams, and then another 0.2 grams of pine needle essential oil. So beeswax, coconut oil and shea butter are melted. Let's go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. So we're gonna go ahead with 30 grams of jojoba oil that will add this amazing glide. Then we're gonna go ahead with 12 grams of cornstarch, which will basically absorb all the moisture. And then our secret ingredient, magnesium hydroxide. We are adding this instead of baking soda. Magnesium hydroxide is a weak base, it's very mild, and what it does is that it does not allow the microbes to grow, but at the same time it does not irritate the skin. And we are adding 6 grams of that. So we have the solution here, and now let's mix. So you mix vigorously, and if if it clamps a lot, you can also put it back into the heat to basically remove the clamps until it becomes a very uniform solution that looks like that. And now it has cooled down slightly, so we can go ahead and add our essential oil blend. And then we can also add 0.5 grams of vitamin E, which is an antioxidant. And then we're gonna mix, and we are ready to pour. I'm gonna pour it into this jar here. And now we're gonna let it cool. Our deodorant is done. It smells amazing and it's looking like that. Of course, it's very yellowish because of the beeswax, but does it actually work? And how can we test that? So the way you test it is that you literally put your finger inside and you have a bit like that on your hands, and wow, it smells really nice. It's very long lasting, so basically you have magnesium hydroxide instead of baking soda, because magnesium hydroxide is very mild. It will increase the pH slightly so that microbes cannot grow in there. And then you have cornstarch that will absorb all the moisture. You have beeswax that adds structure, and you have jojoba oil, that is the magical ingredient that adds glideness to the deodorant so that it doesn't feel very scratchy when you apply it. I hope you guys love this recipe. Please comment down below what other recipe would you like to see next, and I would love to hear your feedback and tell me if you ended up making this recipe or not, and what kind of deodorant recipe you are making if you already make your own at home. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video useful and that it could add some value to you, and I'll see you guys next time.